Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and today we're talking about custom audiences within the Facebook Ad Manager right within GoHighLevel. We're going to be talking about custom audiences and lookalike audiences, how you can create them and utilize them within your campaigns within the Ad Manager. I'm super excited, so let's dive right in. In today's video, we're going to be in the marketing section right underneath the Ad Manager on the sub-account level, and we are going to be in settings looking at our audiences for the Ad Manager. If you click this right on the right hand side, you can see all of your audiences imported from Facebook if you've created Facebook audiences before. And then we're also going to be going over how you can create new lookalike audiences and custom audiences. I'm super excited, but let's talk about the difference between a lookalike audience and a custom audience first. Now, when you're running Facebook ads, you really have three different types of audiences that you can run your ads to. The first type is just a basic audience that has no specific parameters around it. Maybe it's saying the age range is 18 to 65, targeting to demographics like men or women, or just inputting a little bit of location. Sure, you can save these audiences sometimes, but you can sometimes just create an audience for just that campaign that's not very specific, and that is a brand new audience that's going to send it out to mostly anyone and everyone on Facebook. If you're trying to bring awareness to something and you really have no idea who you're actually trying to market to, then those types of audiences are great, but we're not going to be talking about those in this video. Today, we're going to be talking about custom and lookalike audiences, which are really going to be able to give you the ability to better reach your target audience using Facebook ads. Now, a custom audience is an audience that you can create that specifically has interest in your business, whether they are engaging on your website, on your Facebook page, through lead forms. You can select to market specifically to people that have interacted with your business before. This gives you higher conversion rates and allows you to interact with people that actually have interest in what you're providing through your ads. These custom audiences can give you really detailed targeting and really allow you to hone in on your specific type of customer. Lookalike audiences will allow you to take your existing customer base or existing customer interactions and then look for a new audience that is similar to the one you have currently, hence lookalike. This will allow you to reach a new demographic of new people that haven't seen your ads before, but ones that fit the same type of demographic and the same type of targeting that your custom audiences already do. Both of these have their time and place, and both can be really powerful tools when it comes to marketing using Facebook ads. Now I'm going to show you how you can use both of them within the GoHighLevel platform. Firstly, you're going to see a couple of audiences here that I've already imported from Facebook. These are custom audiences that we made not within GoHighLevel. So if you have created ads before and you want to run ads to these audiences, you absolutely can. But if we're going to create new audiences, then we're going to do that through the blue button at the top right-hand side. Let's dive into a custom audience first. Whenever we go to create custom audience, we'll be able to connect with people who have already shown interest in our business or product through a website source, a Facebook page source, or a lead form. We soon will have the ability to use customer lists, which are super powerful because then we can really hone in on exactly who we're targeting. But for now, we're going to use a lead form, website, or a Facebook page. Obviously, if you're going to use one of these three sources, use the one that you've already gotten a lot of interaction on. So I, for example, haven't ran lots of lead form ads, so I'm not going to exactly want to use that for my custom audiences. However, I do have multiple website visitors that are going to my website and ones that are going to my Facebook page, so either of these are going to work great for me. It really just depends on what works best for your business. So let's save Facebook page for now, and then we're going to click next. Now we'll be able to see which Facebook page we're going to use for this custom source. We'll be able to select any of the Facebook pages that we've already added to the pages section within the Ad Manager, and we're going to go ahead and use our main page. Then we're going to specify what events we want these users to have taken place within this page. We can say things like users who currently like or follow our page, everyone who is engaged with our page at all, anyone who visited the page, or people who have engaged with posts or ads. We can also ask for people who have engaged with call to action buttons, users who have sent us messages, and users who have saved any posts. So you can get really detailed with all of these settings, and I'm super excited to use all of these within GoHighLevel's Facebook Ad Manager. Let's say we're going to run this ad to users who are currently just liking or following the page. We can click that and select that as our event. And then we can include more people who maybe fit another criteria. So let's say people that are engaging with the same page, but maybe ones who actually saved posts from this page. Now we can do this again and again, including more people that fit more criteria, but keep in mind the more criteria you add, the smaller that audience is going to get. Additionally, you can exclude people from specific actions. So maybe we want to exclude people that have, let's say, engaged with any of our posts or ads. This can be really useful if you're trying to target specifically new people that haven't seen your ads before but still follow your page, so you can get really detailed with all of this targeting. Additionally, on all these sections, we have audience retention. This is simply the number of days that users will remain in the audience after they engage with your content. So, for example, if we set this only to 30 days, then people who engaged with any post or ad before the last 30 days will not be included in this group. Now, after you've put in all of your criteria, make sure you specify to include users who meet any or all of the following criteria. This will change this essentially from if and statements to if or statements, if you get that. Once we've determined exactly what users we want to fit this criteria and be included in this audience, we can give this audience a name as well as a description, and then we can click create audience. Once we do that, we'll get a notification that our audience has been created, and then we'll see our audience right within the audience section and let us know what the status is of this audience. Now, it typically will take anywhere from 1 to 6 hours for custom audiences to populate, so give it some time. Try not to create an audience right before you run an ad. This status will change between populating, ready, and audience not created if there were any issues with that specific audience. And creating custom audiences is as easy as that. Now, let me show you how you can create a lookalike audience. We're going to be at the same button in the right-hand side. We're going to click create new audience and then lookalike audience. Now, as we said before, lookalike audiences are creating a new audience based off of an old one. So if a custom audience is creating an audience based on people who have already engaged with our business, those people fit a specific demographic and specific sets of targeting that we can apply to a new lookalike audience. So we can reach more people that are more likely to interact with our business because they are similar to the people who have already interacted with our business before. Lookalike audiences are super powerful, and I personally am a huge fan of using them within Facebook ads. So let's dive right into this. Now, obviously, lookalike audiences are going to have a data source just like custom audiences, but this is going to be typically an existing audience or a page. For example, if we use an existing audience, then we can select between our custom audiences and we can select which audience we want to base our lookalike off of. For example, the one that we just created, we can use that as our data source. And then what this is going to do is create a new audience that is similar to this one, but doesn't include any of the people who were already included in that first audience. We could also create a lookalike audience based off of pages. So if we want to create this based off of our Facebook page, then what this is going to do is create a lookalike audience that is similar to the people who have already interacted and followed our current Facebook page. So for example, if we have a fitness page and it typically attracts lots of people who are interested in fitness, then a lookalike audience that is based on our fitness page is going to create an audience that is going to look for people who are also interested in fitness but haven't yet engaged with our page. So obviously, any ads that we run to this group of people is going to be performing really highly because it's similar to the people who have already interacted with this business. We can then give our audience a name and then also add in a geographic location. For me, I'm in the United States, so I'm going to click this, and then we will be set up to specifically target people who look like followers that are in the US, my followers that are currently following my page. Now, you might be asking, with a lookalike audience, how do we determine what types of demographics we're going to be targeting within our group? For example, I might have people following my page that are friends and family that aren't interested in business stuff, but I'll also have a demographic of people who are interested in business stuff. Well, that's what our audience size is going to be for. This metric has a little note at the bottom that says a 0 to 1% lookalike audience range includes people who closely match your defined audience source. So let's say we increase this from 0 to 10%. Well, now this is going to be creating a lookalike audience based on 10% of my audience that I'm using as my data source. AKA, it's going to be looking at more people that are following my page, which is going to give us a broader lookalike audience. Keep in mind, with your audience size, you will only be able to adjust this first percentage between 0 and 9 and the second one between 0 and 10. We obviously can't create a lookalike audience based off of our entire audience, since sometimes with larger Facebook pages, you could end up with creating an audience of millions of people. You can play around with these numbers to see which one gives you the best result in terms of targeting the right people within your audience. But for me, I found that staying somewhere in the middle usually works pretty well. So anywhere from 0 to 5%, maybe 2 to 8%. Just make sure you test it a couple times to see what works best for your lookalike audience. Now, once we've filled out all this information, we can click create audience, and this will create our lookalike audience. After that, we'll get a notification that our lookalike audience has begun its creation process, and it's going to again say populating until it says ready and you are good to go. Another pro tip, if you're going to create a lookalike audience based on a custom audience that you also made within GoHighLevel, let the custom audience finish populating and be ready, and then create the lookalike audience. That way you don't come into any issues where both audiences are trying to create them at the same time and they're kind of competing for what customer list they're going to be using as a data source. Now, once you've got your audiences and they say ready, then you'll be able to use them within your campaigns, which, as we've talked about before, you'll see right on this main screen where we can click create campaign and then add in our audience at the audience section. Again, here we are in a new campaign. In step 2 in budget and audience, if we scroll down, we'll see our basic audience controls, which we talked about as the first type of audience of the 3. But then at the bottom, we'll see our intended audience, and we can select our lookalike audience or our retargeting for those custom audiences that we already have created. So remember, as we talked about with the 3 different types, target interests right here is going to be your first type. That's going to be a basic audience with interests that are specific just for this campaign, where we can select basic interests, languages, age ranges, and genders. Lookalike audiences right here is where we're going to be able to select that lookalike audience that we just created. As you can see, we can click this and then select our lookalike audience that we just created within HighLevel. And if we want to use our custom audience, then we can go to retargeting, click create new or select retargeting audience, and then select our audience 1. That is that custom audience we just created. Once we've selected the audience that we want to use, then we can click next and finish the campaign creation process. Keep in mind, you can use multiple audiences within the Facebook Ad Manager interface. We can use, for example, interests along with a lookalike audience, along with a custom audience. Just be careful you're not using too many, so that way your audience doesn't get too small. And last thing to note, if you do want to make any edits to a lookalike or a custom audience that you've made within HighLevel, you will have to click the 3 dots on the right-hand side, and then all we can edit is the name or the description. Since each one of these audiences is custom and does have to populate, if you want to edit anything like what the audience actually includes within it, you'll have to create a new audience under lookalike or custom. So I would highly recommend you include in your titles and descriptions accurate descriptions to what you're actually including in your audience. For example, we have here audience 1.2, recent profile engagement. I know exactly what's in this custom audience, so I can use this in the future, and that way there's no confusion around what my audience actually includes. So I won't have to be worried about what's actually included in my audience. These custom and lookalike audiences are insanely powerful within the Ad Manager, and I hope you get to use them because they're seriously going to transform your Facebook marketing within HighLevel. If you have any questions about how to create your own audiences or the Ad Manager in general, leave a comment, and as always, thank you so much for watching.